Have you ever felt in your communication skills you're not effective, you're not making impact, you're not getting through to people? Well, I'm going to share with you the most common mistakes people make in communication and in presentation skills that you need to avoid. Now, the very first one is learn not to say the word I all the time. I see when I help people in pitching and presentation skills, people start off with, now I'm here today because I want to share with you. I was thinking about the points that I want to. Can you hear that one word all the time? Now, if you change that one word to you, now if you have to speak and you want to present and you want to make more impact with people, you're going to have to learn the following techniques. Can you hear how much better that sounds? So by changing that one word I to you will see a massive engagement with your audience. The second most common mistake is people use jargon way too much. They would say you need to RSVP as a VIP at the next JS meeting so that the MD can sign off ASAP. I mean, that's a lot of BS, right? Business sense. What were you thinking about? You see, the main reason is when we use jargon, a lot of people start to jump to conclusions. But that's the problem. When we use a lot of acronyms and abbreviations, we make the audience work hard to try and understand what we are saying, especially if we give technical presentations or certain types of communication styles where we use abbreviations. It's called inside language. My tip would be if you want to use abbreviations, use the abbreviation and then clearly articulate and say what it is, and then you can use it again during your presentation. The third one is neglecting your audience's demographics, interest, and age. I see so many people who are pitching or communicating with people either speak way too high over their heads technically, or it's way too simple and you also lose your audience. You want to make sure if people are interested in sport, it's good to use analogies that are sports related because you will capture people's attention quite quickly. If people are more analytical, use more numbers and facts and figures. Demographics, also where they come from. Certain countries have different types of sayings. In Australia, they have weird types of sayings compared to America and to Canada and to other countries. So making sure that you're talking to the right demographics of people. And lastly, their age groups. I will talk completely different to school kids than what I would to C-suite level executives. So make sure you connect with the right people at the right demographics, age, and their interest. The fourth one is being too vague and not being able to express yourself clearly in a structured way. And this is where waffling comes in, where people say, sorry, in case I haven't made that clear, and then they say the same thing over and over again. And this is pretty annoying for a lot of audience members. By using simple techniques that we use, for argument's sake, make a point, give them rock solid reasons, then an example, and then a point, you will sound structured and professional. Now, what I can tell you is that we have an online course called Impromptu Speaking Techniques where I share 8 techniques. We'll put the link in the comment section for you below and have a look at it as how can you speak on the spot without any preparation and sound knowledgeable, professional, and believable. Because one of the most common mistakes is that people are too vague and not structured. The fifth common mistake that I always see is people start too specific too soon. High technical or straight down into the information, the details too quickly. If you want to learn how to communicate effectively and also engaging your audience quite quickly, here's a tip. Say whatever you want to say in a story. I know. So how you do this is by saying, look, when you walk into the office and you open up your door and you pick up your phone and you feel your heart racing, can you see that story playing off? Yeah, it makes it so much far more engaging than starting off by 83% of people's hearts are racing when they pick up a telephone and talk to a customer or a prospect. Hence the reason that 17% of telephone salespeople, you're never going to engage with people. When you tell it in a story, you'll be far more engaging when people listen to you. Number 6, one of the most common mistakes people make is using negative language. Most people are not even aware of it. This happens frequently on a telephone or when people communicate over a platform. When they say words like, "I hope I'm going to engage with you today," or "we will try to," "we might." These are negative words that sounds pretty good, but it's actually not even neutral, it's negative. You hope? Hope is never a strategy. When you're on a telephone, when you speak, when you pitch, use concrete, positive words. Definitely, absolutely, we will. When you use positive language, it's directed towards the audience and they will hear those words and it will hit and it will connect with people. Whereas vague words just bounces off people. So try not to use vague, negative types of words, but rather a concrete, solid, positive language. Number 7, the last one, being too formal. A lot of times when we do not connect with people is because we're trying to do a presentation instead of a conversation. I see people who are pitching and presenting and communicating to people, they're trying to be too formal, especially in board meetings. And look, there's a time when you have to be formal, but majority of the time we can be conversational even in a formal setting. And to be conversational, we need to be more relatable in storytelling. When you see, have you ever done? So it's asking questions as you are communicating with people. And it's people are coming with you on their journey, thinking, answering the questions as you are speaking. I love when I communicate with people, I said, have you ever noticed when you are getting into an airplane and you sit there? Have you ever seen, have you heard, have you experienced? You see, that increases engagement and you connect with your audience. So try to not be so formal and so presentative. Try not to always just give a presentation, but to have a conversation. This will help you in front of a large audience as well when you communicate or present. So my name is Trevor Ambrose, and as I mentioned earlier, we've got an impromptu speaking course that will help you to speak with confidence, clarity, and conviction. The link is in the comment section below. Follow us on our website at trevorambrose.com or on our social media platforms.